Hey, how y'all doing today? Today I'm going to be talking in a bit of my softer voice, podcasty voice, maybe even a bit more feminine, if you know what I mean. And this is going to be one of the most intimate, in terms of intimate, I mean up close, probably videos I ever do, maybe. But I ultimately want to talk about my soft boy era, and more so me embracing that, how I've gotten here, and how I'm feeling liberated within it. So let's get into it. So growing up, I've always had a queer feel to me. I've always had a feminine aspect to myself, if you know what I mean. Like, I enjoyed the more feminine things in life, or some of the more womanly things in life. But I always had the sense and inner knowing that I was a boy and that I was a man, and I always identified with that. That was one of the few things in this world that the world gave me, that I could just be like, hey, this is what it is, and this is what I relate to, and this is what I feel connected to, if you know what I mean. So I've never had an identity crisis when it came, well, we're gonna get into that. I've always had a more softer side to myself, and I know a lot of people think that femininity is held within lipstick, high heels, dresses, but femininity in terms of an energy and an essence is a lot deeper than the things that we have attributed to these energies, in terms of femininity, masculinity, feminine energy, masculine energy. And those things can be within us equally. Those things can be within us, one more than the other. And they're not, and the thing that I want to note the most about femininity and feminine energy and all of that is it's not a gender. But in our society, and in America especially, with how we've made society to be and the norms that we've made in society, femininity is of course more attributed to women, and masculinity more attributed to men. And when we deviate outside of those constrictions for some, but rules for others, or ways of life for others, normalcy, we can get hit with a lot of disgust, a lot of disdain, a lot of people have this inner uncomfortability about it, because it feels foreign because of where we have been raised and where we've grown up, and the things that surround our society that help shape our society, i.e. like the Bible, and how that has played a role in misogyny, men being feminine, even women being more masculine. But today we're talking about my femininity. So yeah, I always liked the more womanly things in life. Like, I liked boyish stuff per se. Like, I liked what I had in terms of the things that society deems as boy things. I like those things, but I also like Barbie dolls. Yes, I was one of those gays that like Barbie dolls. There's nothing wrong with that. And even if I wasn't, I wouldn't be the type of person to try to distance myself from that, like a lot of gays, well, some more mass for mass gays do. But yes, I was one of those gays, one of those probably more stereotypical gays. I liked Barbie dolls. I liked the hair. I liked the femininity of it all. That was just something that I connected with. And it wasn't a sense of confusion there. There wasn't a sense of something being wrong there. The only time those things came up was other people's perception of me as this little black boy who isn't supposed to be feminine in any way, shape, or form, who's not supposed to cry, who's not supposed to express his emotions in certain ways. And I think what did the most damage and caused the most turmoil within me was more so seeing how women and girls got treated in society as opposed to men. And it never really sat right with my soul, because I just never was that type of person that was just hard like that. I've always been the softer type, and in society we don't like men that are soft. It's not the ideal. So we push boys to get into sports, we push boys to be rough and all of those things. And while I can be a little rough and like to get down just a little bit, I have my limits. And I just realized that my parents and just the community and village around me wasn't so prepared to raise a soft boy, which I was. I was a softer boy, and that's just the fact of the matter. Yes, my father was in my life, and yes, I've always felt that dissonance, kind of, with just you can see sometimes the disappointment or like the distance and like the connectedness of how he connected with me as opposed to maybe my brother, who is a lot more masculine and a lot more of the typical guy. I've always been softer when it came, and sports a lot of times was a lot of that, one of those few things where I could connect with a lot of different guys and like my brothers and stuff. But like, I didn't like sports, or I didn't like sports per se, but I also wasn't that good at them either. So I just was soft. I liked being treated with care, and I couldn't see the problem with being treated with care and intention and with all of that. I needed to be treated with care, and that's not always what I got, being a little black boy, unknowing of his queerness. But fast forward, through school and stuff, I don't even think we need to touch on that per se, but let's get into college when we get to the meat and bones, really. When I when I started to hook up and stuff and get into this gay world per se, I quickly realized that certain things and certain attributes, and just in terms of desirability and stuff, were championed over other things, and certain people were demonized for having certain attributes, or those mask for mask, no fast no films type of thing was going on. And for me, my overall perception when I was first coming into this world, which Grindr is not the best introduction to LGBTQ lifestyle, and just I hate that I just said lifestyle, y'all please forgive me, but just LGBTQ people and our stories and stuff, Grindr is just not a good introduction into the world, and it definitely did some damage. So, but with that damage, it also opened my eyes to a very apparent theme in the gay community, especially the black gay community, which is masculinity and shaming those who are feminine, shaming those who are bottoms. Which, let's touch on that for a second. I never understood why people shame bottoms, but everybody likes to fuck them. That does not make sense to me. You like to fuck bottoms, but every time you turn around, you're shaming bottoms. And then and I'm sure this has always been a thing, but this is when I was realizing it. I'm talking about it in terms of when I realized these things. Then there's this notion of, I want a masculine bottom. I want a masculine partner. And as I'm navigating my gender more and just getting into who I want to present now in this phase of my life to the world, this was a kind of a hamper on that, because I've always had that softness and that femininity to me. And now I'm in a space where I thought I was going to be able to release all of that inhibition and release all of that and really truly be hugged and validated within that experience, to realizing that a lot of the guys that I probably would like to go for or that I found attractive would not find me attractive. And I was back in this thing again where my femininity was demonized and not seen as a positive attribute again. And so with that, that made me hide or not play into certain aspects of myself more. So, like, for example, like, I have gotten to a point where I have definitely experimented a lot with clothing and just gender bending, androgyny, like all of that. I have really gotten into that bag. And that's the bag that I really love, wearing crop tops, you know, wearing a little skirt every now and again, wearing a heel every now and again, regardless of what these niggas got to say. Because I had to also realize, and something that a lot of us realize when you're fat and feminine, sometimes that time not spent where guys are chasing you and stuff is time spent within yourself and learning yourself and focusing on yourself and what you like and what you want with all of that. And with me trying to see how I would fit into this space of gayness and queerness, I consider myself someone that was a bit more in between when it came to femininity and masculinity, or my perception of those things at this point, which was like, you know, how you carried yourself, how you walk, how you talk, the things you were interested in, all of those things, and not so much the feminine and masculine energy of it all. I consider myself to be someone that was balanced, and many times when people first saw me, they would get a certain thing about me. I'm texting this guy that likes feminine guys. I'm like, okay, a lot of guys are telling me I'm feminine or they don't like this part of me. So, hey, this is a guy that will probably like this part of me. But then I get rejected because I have a beard, I have facial hair, or I have a little hair on my body, or maybe I don't live up to that expectation. I don't wear panties, which I don't see nothing wrong with that per se. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm used to. That's just not my thing. I don't wear panties. So a lot of, like, they would get turned off by that. And so then on the other flip side of it, somebody that's more attracted to masculinity in the traditional sense, they see me, they see my soft features, my baby face, my fatness, and just attribute and like kind of stamp fem on me, feminine, and that's not what they want. And they're so focused on what they don't want that they don't look at the person and the wholeness of that person. And so a lot of times I would be in this space of like playing a role with certain people. It was so easy to do because for me, masculinity is a performance. I'm never going to give trade. I'm never going to give that type of masculinity because I'm just... how do I put this? I don't want to put this in an offensive way, but sometimes I've noticed in the past with this act of masculinity, there's a lesser intelligence quotient to it. There's a, you know, just non-knowing of it, less self-awareness of it all to it. And I'm somebody that's feminine in that sense where I am a little bit more intuitive and all of that. So it would be hard for me to try to be that person. But a lot of times, I realize now, a lot of times that's just these guys' fantasies. They just want you to fit this mold for their fantasy, for them to get their nut. And we shouldn't internalize that. And that's what I was doing a lot of times. But they do really make it feel very personal when they bring up their likes and dislikes, and especially their dislikes. And so I would find myself sometimes femming it up for some guys, or masking it up for other guys, which was really just me throwing on my jogging set and not being as expressive. It's so hard. It's so easy to be masculine a lot of times. The first time I wore something more feminine, which was a crop top and some short shorts, was for a nigga. I was going to see a nigga, and he wanted me to put something on feminine like. And so I cut up some jeans and made some little booty shorts out of them, and I cut one of my shirts and made a crop top out of it. And that day I felt sexy. Like, I liked that. Like, I like masculine clothes and stuff too, but like for this first time, like I just felt like this was another part of me, you know, that I didn't really explore, or didn't feel like I could explore, and you know, because of society, and especially where I live, like in this Southern Bible Belt kind of area. But that was like one of the first times I felt empowered in my femininity per se, which is kind of sad because it was for a nigga per se. But looking back now, it was just like a part of my journey. As I go along, I'm watching TikToks and stuff, and I'm learning about feminine energy and masculine energy in terms of the energy, and not so much in terms of attributes or like surface level things, but more so an energy, an essence. Looking at it from that perspective. And I was still in this space of, yeah, I'm balanced. And I think a lot of times I would say I was balanced because I'm in this masculine form. I'm in a man body. I present my gender as man, with a little taste of non-binary. But I'm always straddling a little bit because I don't reject the ideology of being non-binary, but it just doesn't relate to me because traditionally, and just like how I was raised, and just how I just feel on the inside, I feel like a boy, man. I just relate to that gender, even though I present in other, you know, present a more queer and stuff. I don't consider myself non-binary because he and him, it feels right. It feels like who I am in a sense. It just feels right, basically. So that's basically all I'm trying to say. But, yeah, I was learning about the energies. And so that really opened my eyes a lot wider when it came to femininity and masculinity and just how I saw it. And it made me realize a lot of heterosexual people and traditional people are miles behind when it comes to this stuff, because they're only seeing it in these strict ways. And it's just like, there's so much more loving and living outside of these rules. And I was freeing myself of those things. All in all, within all of this, and as the years have progressed up to now, I have felt this sense of still being undesired, or feeling a slight sense of being not wrong, but subsequently feeling a bit wrong, because a lot of people, the ones that are the loudest are the mask for mask guys, and the ones that are saying they don't want no fats, no films, those are the ones that are the loudest. And those are the ones that are the loudest in my head as well when I'm going through my daily life and just feeling seen and feeling attractive and stuff. Those are the things. And I know we say self-love and all that, but I want to feel attracted too. I want to feel like people want me. I want to feel that. And I felt like my femininity was holding me back from that. And it wasn't, and I was at a point now where it's just like I'm accepting myself. So it's not like I'm about to try to mask myself up or try to do all that, because essentially me doing that is me doing it for other people, and me doing it for those reasons, not for me. I wouldn't feel myself again. I would be putting myself back in this box of uncomfortability and never truly being happy and liberated. I just been realizing just more recently, just like when it comes to sports and just all these manly things or this, that, the other, where it's just like there's a space for those things in a healthy sense over there per se, but like I have had to realize, like, and I'm realizing, like, it's okay to not be adjacent to those things or not feel connected to those things and express that, you know, and feel validated within that, and being soft, because ultimately that's what I am. Now, I still have some grit to me. Like, I'm gonna give you soft all day and, like, you know, fun, happy, goofy, but don't try it, because I feel like, and that's what a lot of guys have done. They've tried it because there is this disrespect for femininity and this idea that femininity is lesser than. And so a lot of guys have tried to run over me and all that, and just people in general have tried to run over me because they saw that femininity in me, so they assumed I was weaker. But I'm here to reassure you that I do have some grit within me. I am still a Creole Banji bitch from Louisiana. Literally. Well, I'm not Creole. I'm still a black Banji bitch from Louisiana. So, like, I do have those masculine aspects of myself. So those guys that still want that ultra feminine guy, I'm not the one for you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna wear my facial hair. I like it. I'm gonna keep a little booty hair every now and again, because I'm not doing all that, especially if I'm not in a relationship, which I'm not doing all that for y'all. I'm not doing all that for y'all. I express my femininity in the ways that feel comfortable to me, but more so the energy. I'm coming into that more in terms of just like how I speak and just being calmer, because I feel like in America, being a man, especially, but just overall across the board, we have to have that masculine energy about ourselves to have that get up and get it and go and hustle and all that. We kind of have to have that part of us. But I'm just accepting that, like, hey, I'm feminine. Like, I'm like, this is what it is, and I don't have to be those things to be validated. What am I trying to get at? Basically, I'm cunt to the feminine, or what is what I'm trying to say. I'm cunt. Like, I'm cunt. Like, I have my Banji parts to me, but bitch, I'm cunt. And I don't know how else to put it. And those of you that get it. Look up cunt in the LGBTQ aspect of it. But I'm cunt. And I really wanted to shout out MJ Harris. And I meant to do this in the beginning of the video. But I've been watching a lot of MJ Harris's videos. And for my more feminine, or those that straddle or feel like their feminine parts are kind of holding them back, look, watch some of his videos. Because his videos and his essence and his being and his auntiness of it all just really validates me. Bitch, we both bald-headed. Like, I just relate to him, and he has really pushed me to become a better version of myself going forward, and knowing that there are guys out there that's going to be attracted to me, but even more so that regardless of these guys and niggas, it's about how you feel about yourself. It's about being comfortable within who you are regardless. Because I had been getting to a point now, just with like the dating scene and how stuff is, just I'm trying not to be worried about these niggas. Like, I'm not worried about these niggas. I'm trying to be on my celibacy journey like a lot of us are. They're doing the research on us right now. We're like the guinea pigs, low key. Like, they wondering why we trying to be celibate, and I think it's because we're realizing these toxic cycles, and we're learning, and we're growing, and we're waking up to things, and we're realizing we're better than that. That's part of that feminine energy. Not that you're better than, but just realizing like your power within your femininity, which is a very powerful thing. And that's something that MJ Harris has reminded me of. And I just want to give you your flowers for making the videos you make and the stories you tell, because you're not my mentor per se, but you are very much so a mentor in my head. Like, me watching your videos and just learning from you Please watch his videos, y'all, that women too especially, and my gay girls that like can relate to this video. Please go watch his videos. I'm finna get into my jewelry era. I'm finna wear more jewelry and just adorn myself with more color and more just things that just make me feel good, you know, in terms of feminine expression and gender expression, but also in terms of my energy. I'm finna like stop with exerting so much energy. I am an empath too. I'm finna stop with exerting so much, and an introvert, with exerting so much energy and like arguing with people and trying to prove myself, which is like so much of an egotistical and masculine thing to do, and just really feeling serene and calm and validated within my femininity. I just came here to tell y'all that because this is about me. What's the name of my channel? I know it's Chris, period, because it's just like, basically, what I'm trying to fucking say. My channel is about, I forgot just that fast. I'm playing. See, this the banjo part coming out. See, I can't help it. What I'm trying to fucking say is, this channel is about me. And basically, I just wanted to express to y'all just where I'm at right now with my femininity, and just, you know, like, it's okay to be feminine. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to not argue. It's okay to come at situations in a different way. And you don't have to be that way just because you're a man, or you identify with being a man, or you were born a male. Like, society a lot of times won't validate you within that, but you have to validate yourself, and you have to show up in that way a lot of times to sometimes get that validation. One, just like, because people feel that energy from you, and they will kind of put you in those categories sometimes as such, just how you present. But yeah, just be yourself and find the power within your femininity, and find the power within femininity. Learn that power, research that power. Like, it is powerful, and you are just as much validated to be in your feminine energy and your softness as a woman is. And it's okay. And like, not only is it okay, it's good, it's great, because you are giving the world this person that no one else can be. Only you can be this person. So yeah. Bitch, I'm cunt. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm that girl. I'm cunt. I'm about to get into my content and some more. I'm gonna keep my banjo aspects because I don't give a fuck, you know? But yeah, I'm embracing my soft boy era and just the softness of everything, because as a black boy and as a black man, society and people actively every day push you to be this certain person that you may not be, and that stereotype is not who I am. And I'm gonna stick hold to that and gun hold to that no matter what. And that's the meat of this. In the face of adversity, when it comes to people trying to make you or form you, or like try to push you into this masculine role sometimes, where that's not where you feel comfortable, or it doesn't feel natural to you, stick to your guns and stick to who you are and express that. Know that some aspects in life will need that masculine energy out of you just to obtain and achieve and go get and actively have that ego and confidence about you sometimes. But know that, like, hey, bitch, I'm cunt to the feminine or what? And like, and I know there's a trauma aspect to that, and like the trauma within your body, and like all of that, and how that can play a role, and like how we go back to what we've been taught or what has been beaten into us. But I really want y'all to navigate y'all selves. Straight men too, if you're watching this, please navigate your feminine aspects to yourself. Don't do it out of spite. Just do what feels natural to you and what feels right. And I just feel like that would make a lot more people happier in their lives and a lot more content with their lives if they just release a lot of these rules and just show up how you want to show up. But yeah, see y'all later.